Artisans. It's Chandra with Stockton Stuff. Happy Saturday. We are here once again, excited to bring you the tutorial for Design Space software. I have the Cricut Maker, so I will be planning as if I'm cutting with the Maker. This video is part of a collaboration called Share It Saturday, where several crafters will share tips and tricks about using various machines, including Silhouette and some others. So for Cricut Maker, I always want to remind you that the key to being successful on the Cricut Maker is to be able to work the Design Space software. The machine is the easy part. So if you are thinking about a Cricut Maker, go ahead and create that Design Space account and start playing with me each month, so that way you can decide which machine is the best for you. So this month I will be talking about fonts. So I went on and just used the text feature over here on the left, and I typed my YouTube name or my crafting name, Stockton Stuff. And so if I click on it, this menu opens up here at the top, and it tells me that I am using Cricut Sans. Now, I have hundreds of fonts loaded on my computer, and so the way I get to those is, let me go back. So the way I get to those is I click this down arrow, the caret next to the font name here, and I come over here to the left, and I'm going to click System, and this is where my fonts live that are my fonts, that are not Cricut fonts that I don't have to pay for, and I'll show you the difference. So this will give me all fonts, mine and Cricut ones, and you see it, I have the price next to, over here on the left, it has the price next to if it's a Cricut font, and it has that little green A. If you go to System, those are just mine. They already are owned by me. They don't have any pricing, and they are in alphabetical order, and they I can scroll down and get to all of them. All right. If I go to Cricut, it's just going to give me Cricut fonts. I believe there are some free ones like that Cricut Sans, but it tells you right off. Now, it'll let you use them if you want to design with them, but when you're ready to cut, it's going to ask for your credit card. So just so you know that. So you want to use your system fonts, and there's lots of places. There's Font of the Day, or you can use the fonts that just come on your computer. I keep my fonts I print them, and there's a free online way to do that, and I will share that with you. It is called Print My Font. So you can go to Print My Font. It's right here, and it will. You can type in a sentence, and it'll print your fonts however you want. And I save them on my computer in case I want to print them again. Then I just 3-hole punch and stick them in a notebook. So anyway, so if I want to change my font, I can do that, and I will show you some different fonts so that I might want to use, or some cursive fonts. We'll do all that. So I'm going to duplicate this because I want to I'm going to play with a couple of different things here. So I'm going to change this first one and I'm just choosing a font. I'm going to go to System, it's already there, and I'm going to change it to Comic Queens. And so I'm just going to type COM and hit the search button, and there's Comic Queens there. So that one changes to Comic Queens, and it needs and then I'm going to choose a cursive font because I want to show you how to kind of connect the fonts together. Hello, Anista. All right. So, okay. So here's what we're going to do. So let's start with the cursive one. So I want to get these out of the way. Hopefully you remember how to do that. We're going to come over here to the eye, and we're just going to close the eye, hide the eye out. All right, and then I'm going to move this back to the top. This is a kind of a it's a kind of a funky font. So you see how it's layering on top of each other. So I'm going to ungroup it so that I can work with these letters a little bit. And I usually just start at the end. So I'm just going to move that D over. I like the way that the F and the U, I wanted to move the T. The F and the U are already kind of connected. So I'm going to move this T out of the way, and I'm going to highlight that, and I'm going to group that because it was already kind of nice in a nice format. And then I'm going to bring this over so that I can connect that E to the D, and then I can get this T back in there neatly, and there. Now, if this hadn't landed kind of in a weird way, I could have shown you how to just simply done some line spacing, but I'll show you that on one of the others. So, all right, so I like the way it looks. This font's kind of up and down. It's not one that kind of lands on one line. So I'm going to do more than group them. I'm going to attach them. If I really am happy with this, I could have welded them. I do it word by word because suppose the space that I'm using is smaller. Suppose I want to stagger these, do something like that. Suppose I want to stick them inside of a shape, then I can move them however I want without having to ungroup again, because once I have them the way I want them, I don't like to have to mess with them again. And if I don't do that, then I end up with with things not where they were originally, and it's hard for me to get back there. So I'm going to group that, not attach it, just group it, and I'm going to bring it over here on my heart, and just to kind of give you an idea of why I did it the way that I did it, and to move that in and then just center it. All right, so if I wanted that to cut, so I'm gonna actually, you know what, I'm gonna teach you that next month, so I'm gonna leave that just like it is. All right, now I am going to group this though, just because I don't want it to move off that space, and it is where I want it to be on the heart. All right, now I'm done with that, so I'm going to close it up. All right, and then I'm going to scroll down and grab one of my other stocked and stuffed here, and this one is, I'm going to you see there's some space in between those letters that I could tighten that up a little bit. So I come here up at the top, and the reason I can see this bottom menu is because I have the word clicked. When it's not clicked, it disappears. So I'm clicking it because this is telling my software I want to work with this font, and that's where the ability to do that is. All right, so first of all, I think it might be too big, so I'm going to take it down a little bit. I can, just like I would use in Microsoft Word, I could type in what I wanted, or I can just move the up or down arrow. Then I want to do some line spacing. I usually take it down to 1 or 0.7 or 8, depending on how close. But I watch it. I don't usually type it in. I watch it because sometimes they will start to stack on top, and you don't want it too close. I'm going to do one more. And I said 1, but I meant 0. There we go. Now that's a little tight, I think, here, over here. So I'm going to take it back up. That 0.2 was actually not so bad. So I think I'm going to leave it at the 0.2. And then let's say that I want to curve it. So I could use the curve feature, and it would take it in either direction. right? And so I have, sometimes people are like, well, how do I know what's, a good curve? So here's what I do. And let's break this up. So I would usually create a circle, and I need to decide how big I want my circle to be. So say if I was putting this on a shirt, I would make that circle um, pretty big. All right, because depending on your shirt size, you want your SVG to be um, between 9 and 10. All right, now I moved the end, but it did not show up in the front. So I'm going to show you another feature. So this is up here is a range. So it's just like if you were using a Microsoft program. I'm going to send that to the front, and there it is. All right. So I've got my stock and my stuff. I'm going to make my stock go around the top and my stuff around the bottom. So I am going to use my curve here, and I'm going to just kind of move it until I feel like it is getting my my letters where I kind of want them to be. And so if I want them to be that curved, or if I want them to be just a little bit, because I can always play with my circle too, because I'm not keeping this circle. I'm just using it as a guide to kind of help me get my letters curved right. All right, so then I'm going to do the same thing here, but I'm going to take my circle to the left on the diameter so that it curves up. All right. And I think I don't feel like that is quite spaced the way I want it. So if I feel like my letters aren't participating correctly, I would unlock and maybe do some stretching. I could do some turning and kind of play with my curve again. So I'll go back and start again, and maybe do that. All right, so I'm going to move my circle out of the way, and I still don't like the way this came out. So I'm going to ungroup, because the U doesn't, I don't like the U. So I'm going to stretch it out a little bit so that I can get some better alignment with it. It just seems shorter than the other letters to me. But that just may be my eye. And then I want that D to be a little closer. Okay. Now I'm going to put my, let's group them back. And I'm going to put my circle back and see if it feels a little more aligned, and it does. And maybe just because these letters are kind of wonky. I don't know if I like this stuff, but for intents and purposes today, that's what I would do. If I had a different font, it probably would come out. I would probably like it better. I'm still messing with it. It's not like I'm using this, so I don't know why that's bothering me so much. I just wanted to show you the features. All right, so I am going to group that. I'm not going to worry about it because I'm going to attach it because I'm really not going to use it actually. It has added this new onset. Now you see right here, it's a beta. It's just a test. I've been messing around with it a little bit, but it's a little bit wonky too. So so what you get is kind of like a shadow, like we would have with our dies. And so right now my shadow is for this rounded corner, and so I could do apply, and I would get that. I would change my color. I like to be able to see stuff the way it should look, but that's me and my isms. And I think I can change the offset color too, which would be, let's do blue. So it would look like that. I don't think it's bad. Some people are like, I hate it, but I wonder if they are not dye users. So I've had to do, mess around a couple of times to get it to apply, because it is just in beta at this point. For some reason it doesn't want to grab these letters right here, but you see how it's more of a sharp instead of the rounding, and so that's the difference. So I'll be glad when they work out the kinks, because I kind of like that option of being able to have that shadow on some things. I think that would be cute, especially with those cursive letters that are really hard if you're cutting like vinyl or even paper. Sometimes they just get a little thin. It'd be nice to have a base for them. I think I've told you everything on the toolbar at the top. So next month I'm going to show you how to do some print to cut, and the difference between flattening and welding, and how to do that. All right, thanks for watching.